Hello, hello, hello. This is going out to all of the churches in the Allegheny East Conference and in the General Conference of Seventh day Adventists who mother Evelyn Coulter Harris and my other mother, Gwen Norwood, have served the Allegheny East Conference in a 50 plus wellness club for over 16 years. Over 16 years, Mom Harris and Mom Gwen Norwood. Mom Gwen Norwood has been serving the Allegheny East Conference for longer than that as the top office administrator of the presidents of the Allegheny East Conference since my dad began his ministry in the early 90s. So, two mothers who have served tirelessly. And then, on top of the community service that Evelyn Harris has done for 60 years in the Allegheny East Conference and in the General Conference, Community Service Director, Trenton, New Jersey, Mount Sinai Educational Complex. She created the early childhood educational system at Mount Sinai Seventh day Adventist Church in Trenton, New Jersey, Evelyn Coulter Harris. And the Community Service Director for the East Trenton, Ephesus Seventh day Adventist Church, Frankie Leggett's very first church in Trenton, New Jersey. Evelyn Coulter Harris, Community Service Director for 60 years and +50 club on the 8 laws of health. Now she's in a phase of her life where she's opening health clinics. Her legacy that she wants to leave behind are health clinics on the 8 laws of health, and Break the Cycle and Adonai Community Mission are the Break the Cycle is the for-profit arm, and Adonai Community Mission is the nonprofit arm that is going to execute all of that. And every one of you church members who has had your life extended because of what these two women have done in the 50 plus club. Now it's time to return a tribute. And we have created the vehicle where inmates inside of prison and former inmates outside of prison, we can hire them and pay them 6-figure income for research and development in a wellness, fitness, gaming industry using brand new virtual reality technology 2009, I created a studio. I created a film and music studio where my children were the computer programming engineers. And we gave this technology in '09. A classmate of mine at the same university designed this very first headset in Orlando, Florida in 2006 when I got my very first engineering degree, audio engineering. So, computer programming and engineering and audio engineering are based on the same principles. In audio engineering, we learn how to program the recording device called the recording console, and we automate the console, automate it. We program the console with over 90 different channels and inputs. That's microphones on drums, microphones on guitars, and we automate the 90 different channels of input to record the hook, the solo, and we automate it. Programming, computer programming is engineering. So we are in audio engineering and they are in computer engineering. And we taught our children in elementary school to do these same things in the science, technology, engineering, arts, and math lab. And then we went to the poorest, toughest neighborhood in Orlando, Florida, the Paramore Kid Zone. And with Miss Tony Shin, we wrote up a business plan to teach their kids how to do it. And then to fund everything, do outdoor music festivals and film festivals, to pay the children to continue to come to our school and learn how to program computers, film, audio. This is 06, 07, 08, 09. We bring in the mayor of Orlando. We bring in Senator Gary Sipling. We bring in UCF. We bring in all of these individuals to partner. UCF University, 70,000 people. We bring in all of these partners, and what do? They take it, the studio, the year-round business plan, they take everything. And then they create in all of the suburban neighborhoods around Orlando kid zones. And they go get federal funding, federal government funding. And they're teaching this science, technology, and all of that to all of these suburban kids all over Orlando. And then the kids that we gave it to are still riddled with crime, still riddled with violence, still riddled with drugs. They built $1 billion Dr. Phillips Art Center. They put $1 billion into a football stadium. They put another $1 billion into a soccer stadium. They put another $1 billion into moving the Orlando Magic from the east side of I-4 to the west side of I-4 on top of the Paramore neighborhood, and left the Paramore neighborhood with homeless people sleeping out on the streets, Mayor Demings and Mayor Buddy Dyer took their sheriffs and their police from a raggedy, rundown office, and they built $1 billion new sheriff and police. And Mom Harris has come down, and those homeless people sleeping on the streets. Mom Harris has a clinic for the homeless people in Paramore sleeping on the streets. For the inmates, like her grandson, who's done over 21 years. We've resurrected the whole program. We have our own virtual reality goggles and headsets. We have our own Android cell phones. We program the virtual reality simulation. Our kids in our virtual reality school design video games, program virtual reality goggles. Virtual reality goggle allows physical therapists and occupational therapists and mental therapists to use sensory learning. Sensory. When you go to NASA and when you go to try and learn how to fly the rocket, they don't put you in the rocket. They put you in this, a simulation. So you can practice and you feel everything that you would feel sitting in a rocket, but you're in a safe environment. You feel all of the pressure. You feel all of the wind. They've been doing this for forever in NASA. And now this is the public's access. This is how you train fighter pilots in the Air Force to fly the fastest. They don't put them in the jet. They put them in simulators. This is how NASCAR, the drivers, to learn how to drive 250 miles an hour, they get in simulators. Virtual reality is the public's access to simulators where you have full sensory training so you can practice and learn. We have an inmate program called Paroled, where we are using inmates. What do inmates do? They do calisthenics, they do push-ups, they do sit-ups. They are some of the most fittest individuals because they have all that time on their hands, and they do calisthenics, they do pull-ups, sit-ups, they go to the weight room, boom, boom, boom. So there was a We Fit gaming industry. Now this is a virtual reality We Fit. In the We Fit gaming industry, they have something called research and development. So before you could bring a game to market, you have to have people play it and test it to work out all of the bugs. Some of the highest paid professions in the world are in the gaming industry for research and development and testing games before the company brings it to market to make sure that the levels are. So we have created a program where we can take inmates, put them in the virtual reality, and have them test the running, the jumping, the exercise games that We Fit was doing, but We Fit was in a two-dimensional. This is a 4D, totally immersed virtual reality We Fit. So we can pay inmates and former inmates who are some in top physical specimens to run, to jump, to climb, to do push-ups, sit-ups, so that we can design and program those movements into the game. 150,000 research and development gaming programmer makes $225,000 a year. These are people who would test the games for EA Sports before they took it to market. $225,000. Now, I'll give you a comparison. The Advent Health Hospital System has a Da Vinci robotic surgical unit, and they only pay their surgeons $60,000 to $80,000 a year. This is a surgeon who spent all of that money to go to school, a surgeon. $65,000 to $80,000 a year. And then you have gaming research and development programmers who test the games getting paid $150,000, $170,000, $225,000. And that's in a 2D environment. What I'm saying is, this is my uncle Richard Bland. For 60 years, he has been through United Prison Ministry International in every state penitentiary in the United States of America and internationally in some places where nobody goes to. He has a certification of courses that if the inmates take this course themselves and then teach a minimum of 3 other individuals, they can get a certificate and a recommendation towards parole. He has some inmates that have done 10,000 lesson studies before they got paroled. Some who've done 20,000, some who've done 5,000. Now we're doubling back through all of these 60 years of relationships, and we're taking these are cell phones that we own. Break the cycle. We have invested in our own cellular phones because to access the Wi-Fi, the goggles need a cell phone. We have our own cell phones. We have our own goggles. And my youngest son, at his academy, I have resurrected the studio that they took. And now he has the computer program engineering school at his school. We control every phase of the operation. And so now, to be able to apply all of this, Mom Harris, and we need an infusion of capital. This means angel investors. Mom Harris organization is a non-for-profit organization. This is a pledge card. This is a pledge card. An Adonai Community Mission pledge card. $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000. Did you just hear me say that we can go and take the 19 million convicted felons that are on the street right now that nobody would hire, and we can pay them more than your surgeons? We have broken the cycle of recidivism. We have broken the cycle of poverty. For inmates, for felons, there is no reason that Mom Harris' son should spend another day behind bars when he is the pilot in the cockpit of this program that's going to transform the lives of 19 million people on the outside. It's only 1.5 million people in the prison system in the United States. None of our people are going to be behind bars. If the rest of you groups and communities want to say that your loved ones have no value, fine, let them be behind the bars. But Mom Harris's family members, I have several nephews. I have several brothers and sisters. I got a sister, Israel Martin. She is the face of our program on the outside for women. My right-hand man, Curtis Spiderloak Williams. He gave us the blueprint in 2006 when he recorded and was awarded with the Nickelodeon Video Game Award for Madden 2006, the football game in 2006, for his songs that he put on Madden. And there is a banking component. There is a digital banking financial component because the music industry and the video game industry is 1,000 times better than the music industry and the record, because they sell millions and millions of the games, and it's not a flimsy residual royalty setup like in the record industry. If your song is on a Madden and they sell 100 million copies of Madden 2006, you get paid guaranteed royalties for that music on those 100 million copies. That's banking, that's wealth. This is the digital bank that allows people to upload dollars and convert it into digital money in all of our video games and buy music, buy weapons, buy outfits. Our kids program this digital currency. So when you send your money, we're going to convert your 10,000, your 500, your 1,000 to digital currency. And then we're going to pay inmates. We're going to pay Mom Harris's son. We're going to pay his attorney. We're going to pay him $100,000 plus to do research so that our children can design the greatest wellness and fitness sensory learning games, virtual reality, 4D Wii Fit. So then the public can fight chronic illnesses by joining these individuals who are at the top physical specimens in the world. There's no reason to not allow these individuals to get paid, come home, be reunited with their family. They are an asset already. Because instead of managing sickness and death in the hospital system, we can prevent and cure and create wellness in the health clinic and virtual reality business pipeline that we have created. And so, to my wife and my daughters and my son and my sons, there is no more excuse. There is no more excuse to be working dead end jobs when we have made the investment in 2006, but because individuals gentrified the neighborhood that we were investing in, they've robbed Xavier Leggett. And the same simulations that we're doing for inmates, we're also doing for all of these careers. We have a partnership with the educational system throughout Central Florida. And all of these careers, they're using our virtual reality simulation. When these graduates, they go to a 90-day course to learn this. Then they graduate and we hire them to come and put on the simulation and learn how to apply it to the real world. What they learned in the 2D environment, we bring them into the 4D virtual environment for another 90 days to 6 months. And then they go out into their career as a industry professional in less than a year. 2D environment, 90 days, they learn the curriculum, they graduate, it's called continuing education, and then they come to us and they put on the virtual reality simulator that, once again, my children are the computer we have the only computer programming for virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and motion capture pictures. So occupational therapy and physical therapy. In the 2D environment, all of the gains that you're getting out of stroke patients, you've maximized. But in the 4D virtual reality, the sky is the limit. And then the research that needs to be done to create the future simulations, we control. We have our own phone, a $32 million annual. These are assets. Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. There's nobody in the country or in the world that can compete with our 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 8, 9-year-olds at computer programming. And we had this same lab in Mount Sinai Educational Complex in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. And the moment we tried to incorporate mayors and senators and universities, then COVID. So we're sending this video out. This is a pledge card for Mom Harris for the service that she's given to the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists in community service for over 60 years. Mom Gwen Norwood, same thing. In 2009, I went to Pine Forge Academy, and when I gave this business plan to the Paramore Kids Zone, in 2013, at our 10-year class reunion, we created an endowment fund called the PFA Falcon Nest Foundation. 2013, my son was at Pine Forge Academy as a freshman. Same business plan. Same business plan. Olivia Poole was the principal and headmaster then. We were working with community service director Minnie McNeil. There's no reason why every school in the Allegheny East Conference, every school on the East Coast, there's no reason why. 2009 we came, 2013 when my son was a freshman. Lloyd Mallory was the director of the Aeolians at Oakwood. In 2010. We did the same exact thing with Oakwood. Paramore Kids Zone, Pine Forge Academy, and Oakwood. All did the same thing that Orlando did. Mind you, Mom Harris is doing the 50 Plus Club while Xavier is there in 2013. Mom Norwood, Gwen Norwood, is working the 50 Plus Club. Took over from Danny Davis, and my son Xavier is coming up and working Camp Danny Davis for $1,500 all summer. And instead of implementing his computer programming school, Mom Beck was over at Jesse R. Wagner. He was like, listen, man, the school don't want to do it. Listen, we could come up and do it at the little school. I came and did a whole presentation. So our class of 1993, said, you know what? Our 20 and our 30 years coming up. So we're going to do. We're going to create a foundation in 2013. So that on our 30th year, we'll just come back and we'll just give it to the school. COVID-19 happened. So this is the class of 1993. And my sister Terry, the class of 1990. This is an endowment fund. These are film, studio, and computer graphic academy and university that we are putting at Pine Forge Academy in Oakwood in honor of Mom Evelyn Harris, Gwen Norwood, Dean Green, Henrietta Mason, who died last year, 2023. My grandmother, Aura Lillian Leggett, who died 7 months before she did in December. She died January 2023. Grandma died 2022. My nephew Sean Hackett, grandma died in December. Sean Hackett died in January. My grandmother Leggett dies December 2021. 30 days later, my 13-year-old nephew, traumatic brain injury in Miami, dies. Not even 30 days after Grandma Leggett. Sean Hackett's grandfather died the year before he died. His mother died the year before his grandfather died, Jen Hackett. And Sean Hackett's grandmother, Diane Hackett, died the year before Jen Hackett died. These are all the financial pillars and bedrock that gave us what we given y'all. And if we hadn't already built it, there's no way that we would have been able to have it withstand the storm of Diane dying, Jen, Butch, Sean, Grandma Leggett, Aunt Sheila after Shawnee. Shawnee is in January 2022. August 9th, 2022, Aunt Sheila, my mom's oldest sister, and the number one financial bedrock that we built this entity on. After Aunt Sheila dies in August of 2022, Aunt Henrietta Mason dies January 2023. This is Isaac Palmer. This is Isaac Palmer, COO, CEO of Advent Health, Hinsdale in Chicago. All while I was doing Break the Cycle in Chicago, the health and wellness that I was doing and coordinating with Edward Martin in Zambia and Malawi, Africa, and Haiti in the Advent Health hospital system. On the ground in the States, I have the CEO of Advent Health, my classmate from Oakwood. Then when I moved down here to Orlando, Florida, and do Break the Cycle in Orlando, Florida, Isaac Palmer moves and is the CFO of Advent Health, Florida. Same time where we doing a wellness and a fitness, we have the CFO for Advent Health. And then they take our business plan and our model. This is Isaac Palmer, CFO for Advent Health. So why don't the kids at Mount Sinai Educational Complex get to apply to health and wellness? Why does the Florida Conference in the suburban upper middle class who don't know how to hustle, so we bringing it back home and we going to take inmates. We're going to take therapists. In a 2D environment, you only making 80,000, 90,000. You could be making 225,000 by working out the kinks in a 4D virtual reality. Mind you, Audra Wells had a school on Sensory Learning Labs that is the foundation of this business plan. Before there were virtual reality goggles, in 2006 and 2009, Audra Wells had a whole school down in Florida. She was taking people on a cruise every year, introducing individuals to using sensory learning and the different learning styles. Some people learn through visual, and people of color, we're visual. So Audra Wells proved with the science in this business plan that the reason our people don't care nothing about the educational system is because the way that you teach in the educational system is not our learning style. Our learning style is visual, sensory. And Audra proved that if you put our children in a 4D sensory environment, we put it in here. We tried to give it to our kids and they took it from our kids. We're not partnering with anybody else. We're simply saying this is a multi-trillion dollar, trillion with a T, $1 trillion with a T. So I don't want to hear anything about anything. We have the full business plans. We are the employer in a continuing education pipeline where they're sending us all of these careers to go from the 2D environment into our 4D university. And our tuition in our school is hundreds of thousands of dollars, $365,000 a year. You heard me. Okay. So construction industry. We're taking individuals and they're finishing these degrees. Then they're coming and they're putting on it. This program is 10 weeks. And so employers, we have agreed to hire them at $25 an hour to go into the 4D environment and get paid. It's called work study. It's a work study program. UPS has this, your hospitals, they'll pay you to come and get on the clock and go study, and they'll pay for your degree. We're doing the same thing. That's why our tuition is that much, because we do everything. We give them a 5-year business plan. We we build their personal credit and their financial credit and their business credit. We launch their business. They take the virtual reality course, and we put them on a path to, in 5 years, to handing down generational wealth to their children in the entity that they've created while they were in our financial PhD university. And we teach our financial principles in a virtual reality sensory environment as well. Nobody else in the country, in the world, has what we have. All of these careers are being taught. And we have to pay payroll for our full sale professionals who are training our kids. We have 50 individuals on payroll in Mom Harris's organization and our Break the Cycle organization and Full Sail Career Development. We have 50 individuals who are already creating our staffing agency. And in all of these careers, we're doing career Olympic Games. On ESPN, they used to have the lumberjacks come and they would do an obstacle course around the skills in lumberjacking, climbing poles, chopping down trees, and they would do Olympic game style obstacle courses and races. And in each and every one of these, we have developed the same exact thing. Once again, these are our phones that we own. February the 9th, we're going to have the samples of our phone. Our sister Mia and my brother Marbru are going to be helping us launch these VR headsets and phones in the Dominican Republic. And I'm also going to Puerto Rico. But on February 9th, we're going to get our very first samples here. And February 14th through the 28th, February 14th through the 28th, we're going to do a launch where the public can buy these headsets, buy these phones, buy the currency that drives these phones. We have coins in the phone, and we're going to develop our own cash outside of the digital to remind us of how much we have in our digital wallet. We're going to print our own reminder of how much you have in your digital wallet. Baymac, be about your motherhood at all costs. Be about your manhood at all costs. Be about your marriage making at all costs. Being about your money making at all costs. Count the cost. Some of you may know in 2019, we spent a whole year. My grandmother made an investment of $20,000 But because we had already created the endowment fund and because we had already created the coins and everything, while my father was brand new, we had been creating video game programming in my company, Reel to Reels. My video game programmers from my website got hired from the event where we brought Spider Lope, Curtis, and his design team. He was the very first person up on the internet doing internet graphic design. He was the very first social media. Before 50 Cent even had a social media, this is 50.com, he had SPI in the streets.com. Computer programming. His team, shout out to Crash P. Miller. Rest in peace to the King Puto. When the rest of all of y'all, nothing about no computers, ain't know nothing about no. This is long before they even created Bitcoin. Individuals were creating in the video game Sims. I created our digital coin around Sims. When Audra gave us the goggles in sensory learning, Sims was already out, and you got little girls buying dresses and everything, so they already had currency and they already had video games where on cell phones, on computers, and on PlayStations and on consoles, you got 3 different platforms where they're playing games, and they have their own currency long before there was Bitcoin. And then my programmers are at EA Sports. So to say thank you for launching their careers and to say thank you for putting them in a position to get a $225,000 annual year job. They wrote the program and the code for us to be able to do at Mount Sinai. And our only mistake was including other individuals and giving them access to what we did. That was our only mistake. Giving our business plan and exposing to senators and UCF and all of this. And yes, the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists is on that business plan. And yes, the Florida Conference of Seventh-day Adventists is on that business plan. That never went to our community. Yes, the Southeastern Conference of Seventh-day Adventists is on that business plan. They saw the amount of money in the 5-year. Yeah, I'll read it. I'll read it to you. 21st Century Community Learning Centers application. This was the business plan that we wrote in 2009 when we brought E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher down here to give to a bunch of kids Full Sail University. That's basically what we was trying to do. It's a 5-year, multi-year, multi-million dollar with employees, with they was like, we want you to partner with so many organizations in order to get this grant funding. So to all of y'all who always talk about go get some grants and go get this, the system is set up for you to submit your ideas And they can decide whether or not they want to fund you or not. But once they have your business plan, they can go and apply it with whoever they want to partner with. And they got the money to fund it. That's exactly what we saw. Dear Selection Committee, Community Concepts Service Inc., CCSI, welcomes the opportunity to partner with the Growing Seeds Consortium to provide a unique 21st century community learning center project in the Orlando area. Growing Seeds, or Break the Cycle, is an innovative, collaborative effort of faith-based and community agencies in the Orlando area, Pine Hills, Washington Shores, and Paramore communities. These communities are characterized by high poverty, school dropout, high crime statistics. The Growing Seeds Consortium proposes to interrupt the cycles of dysfunction in the lives of targeted urban middle and high school age youth using innovative strategies such as teaching environmental science, health, and nutrition through the creation of a community garden, music, drama, athletics, and art as instructional strategies to improve math, reading, literacy skills, applying studio arts technology such as digital media and film to teach research, writing, and investigative skills, and building character and workforce skills through entrepreneurial education and career development and life skills training. In addition, parents and adult family members will be offered parental personal personal literacy and workforce skills development workshops on a weekly basis. Community Concept Service Inc., that's the Paramore Kids Zone. Tony Shin created the Paramore Kids Zone, just like I created Break the Cycle. And this year round academy, university, Tony Shin created it. And because she would not allow them to take that, Tony Shin had to go. They took Paramore Kids Zone from Tony Shin, hired people from the same community, gave them little penny ante jobs. But because they had the blueprint, they like, she expendable. She knew that they could not get the credit and should not get the credit, and that her kids should have got the program. And when after I got sick and went into the hospital and had to rehab for a year, I come back and I go straight to find out where Miss Tony Shin is, because I'm like, yo, let's launch the program. I go to her Callahan neighborhood recreational center. It was right next to the old Amway Arena in Paramore. That was her community recreational center. I got there and they like, yo, Tony Shin ain't here. Just so y'all can know, she had raised money to do a teen shack. Just so y'all know, Dwight Howard was there, gave $25,000 to the team. Our studio for the kids was going inside the teen shack. Paramount Kids Zone, Tony Shin, Teen Shack, Dwight Howard, the mayors and all of them was around there because she had got a big multi-million-dollar grant to fund the Paramore Kids Zone with the work that she did. She built that neighborhood center. She built that year-round program. And when they took the program that was designed for her teen shack and her kids, she was not going to allow them to gentrify Paramore and build up all of the neighborhoods and leave Paramore like it is. So she's gone. So this is justice for Tony Shin. This is justice. Mom Harris got sick, but Mom Harris didn't realize Paramore needed a Mom Harris. Mom Harris is identical to Tony Shin. And when Tony Shin was gone, and when they got all of the money going everywhere else, Mom Harris dropped down and she was like, this looks just like Walnut Avenue. This looks just like Trenton during the height of the crack era. I said, I know. She said, there's no way that these people are homeless next to the Orlando Coalition, and Advent Health and Orlando Magic Arena is right on top of them. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds out in the cold, sleeping. A new soccer stadium. Every night, people coming to the basketball games, walking, stepping over people, sleeping on the ground. Yes, that's what's happening right now. That's called gentrification. So, Mom Harris got sick, had to go back up top. So we got to finish the work. All right? Everybody knows what's going on. My employees, my children. This is millions of dollars that this family, Xavier and them, should have been paid every year since 2009 when we launched the program. Myself, my wife, and so now we're going to back pay. We're going to pay our current Full Sail people and back pay them for the 3-4 weeks that they came on board. It's just been difficult with Mom Harris up there and we're down here and everybody not being on one accord. If we bring all our resources back together, if y'all simply just say you grateful and you financially make a contribution, that's all we asking y'all to do. We don't need y'all to do nothing else. We got professionals to do the work. We just need y'all to say you're grateful for the service that these women have done and put a dollar amount on it. And we're going to tell you, just text proud to pay. Text right now, proud to pay. We're using the Chime digital app. Download Chime on your phone. Text proud to pay to 863-219-8432. Proud to pay. It's just being grateful for the service. And in the name of these women, we are going to build the health clinic that Mom Harris, each one of these women, Mom Norwood, Mom Beck, Dean Green, they all gonna get in a neighborhood, in a church, in a community, where we were gonna apply these programs to the kids in those neighborhoods in their name. Auntie Lorraine, Mom Roz Good, Mama Cooper, Kess, Andre Cooper, Larissa Cooper, Mom Cooper, Mom Jordan, Isaiah Jordan. Do you know that Mom Harris and these women, Mama Shockley, Coatesville, Pennsylvania, Mama Shockley, and Evelyn Harris and Mom Norwood and Aunt Henrietta, every summer, these same women who were the community service directors for their churches came together and did 10 efforts all up and down the East Coast together every summer. The singing, the song service, the Bible work, the knocking on doors, the day in the Revelation seminar, the baptizing, the anointing, the praying, the fasting. These same women, Gwen Foster, Jewel Kibble, every one of these women will be honored. All y'all need to do is pick the dollar amount. Every one of y'all church members, all of y'all Pine Forge alumnus, all of y'all Oakwood alumnus, all up and down, all across the country, we have endowment funds at Pine Forge and Oakwood. All y'all need to do is say, I'm grateful. I'm financially grateful. All right? We're going to challenge y'all to let's get in the beginning fit 4 dimensions. Your marriage in 90 days. Let's get in the beginning fit 90 days. Let's get in the beginning fit in this campaign. In August and in April the 7th, and April the 10th through the 17th, we're going to reward the people who've had marriage makeovers. Let's get in the beginning. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper. Beloved is your marriage. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper financially. Be in health physically, even as your soul, spiritually. This is 4D sensory learning. The heavenly Holy Spirit wish foundation. Endowment fund. All you got to do is I'm financially grateful. And then join us in the challenge. When you give your money, it's going to roll you in a challenge. And then we're going to measure with events and webinars and makeovers, physical and spiritual makeovers, 90 every day for 90 days. And we're going to measure the growth in the progress in your marriages, in your finances, in your physical health, and in your spiritual health. And then we're going to reward the people who've had the greatest transformation and transfiguration in their makeovers. All under the 50 Plus Wellness Club, all under Adonai Community Mission. That's Mom Harris's not-for-profit. And all under Break the Cycle, the for-profit arm that's going to teach the babies how to implement these things from the birth. So there's no more cycle of poverty. Got a 3-year-old nephew, a 4-year-old nephew. This all he gonna know. It's not gonna be no cycles of poverty. King Bryce Paul, that's all he gonna know. We've stopped the bleeding. We've broken the cycle. And so when Damon Jr. goes to Pine Forge Academy for 4 years, and then down in the Oakwood, he's going with this academy. He's going with these studios. He's bringing them. He's coming with his recreational basketball and football and volleyball and baseball. He's coming. He's coming with all of these in place. Not the Allegheny East, not the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, not a governor, not a senator, not a president, not nothing. This is Holy Spirit filled. Can't nobody stop this, because the investment that these women have made, You only gonna get one response from us stopping this again. All we will accept is honor, tribute, glory, blessings, investment. Break the cycle, I dare you.